Six Nations 2024, folks. The third round, first game, started at stupid o'clock here in NZ, but it's 5:15 now. Ireland got a win. It was a bonus point win, 31 points to 7. Don't know if they'll be entirely happy with it, but you can't really turn your nose up at a nice old bonus point win over a team you like to win against. And for Wales, I don't think they'll be too downcast about this one because they were absolutely written off. And for a while in this game, we're only one score away from making it interesting. So, positives and improvements. It's very early or late, whichever way you want to look at it. Talking is hard, but we'll go through some key events and some stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts. The Welsh defence, I thought, held pretty early. Ireland came out with a bit of a hiss and a roar. Wales hold on. Wales get some ball. Bundee wins a penalty. Wales really couldn't get any momentum in the kind of opening stanza. Crowley managed to knock over a three-pointer on 6 minutes from a Welsh high tackle. And if you looked at the stats prior to the game, remember Wales had only conceded 9 penalties from the opening 2 games. They'd conceded 2 within the first 6 minutes against the Irish, and it kept coming. Porter won a penalty at the breakdown not long later. And I thought this is going to be a long day at the office if this continues. And it did continue for a while, but to be fair, the Irish didn't really capitalise on the early pressure. They had the 3 points to show for it, but it felt like it should be more. The Welsh defence did well to hold the first big Irish maul. That got them some kind of much-needed momentum, but then they immediately conceded a penalty for going off their feet. Reffel wins a penalty at the breakdown, only for them to concede a free kick at the line-out. Like, literally, and then they conceded an advantage from the resulting scrum. Like, they couldn't get it out of their own half, couldn't get any momentum, and it had to come. The try had to come. I mean, on 20 minutes, Ireland lost the line-out, which I think was their first loss of the campaign, but because there was a knock-on, there was a scrum, so they turned the kind of bad news into good news by winning a penalty at that scrum. They go for touch, they maul it, and boom, for wouldn't you know it, Tadhg, nice take, Dan Sheehan over 10 points to 0. Which, honestly, given the amount of pressure was on, I think it's not a bad scoreline for Wales. I know that's, 10 points in 20 minutes, but still, they've been under the pump. But they've been largely holding out. James Lowe went close not long later from a very dominant Irish scrum. Couldn't quite get there. And the penalty count continued to rise to the point where Wales concede a yellow card warning, but they never actually get carded in this game. It's Ireland that get the 2 yellow cards. But 31 minutes, 10 plus phases. It's that Irish just relentless attack. James Lowe goes over. To be honest, I was actually kind of impressed, almost more impressed by the Welsh defence to be able to hold that one out as long as it did. I mean, we go 17-0. It's looking like game over. Second Irish try. So it looks like they're going to walk into a bonus point. But not many teams, I feel like, would have held the Irish out for as many phases as the Welsh did there. So impressive from both sides. What can I say? 35 minutes, Wales had a chance to potentially opt for a 3 in front to get themselves on the board, not get nilled. But they showed a bit of decent mentality. They went for touch, scrappy line out, but then they only get like 3 phases before going off their feet and conceding a penalty. So, tough first half for the Welsh. 17-0 down. They've had 30% possession, 38% territory. Like, the Irish are just, dominant, man. They've had 4 clean breaks to the Wales 0. They've had 234 metres to 71. Not often a team gets still in double figures for run meters and a half of rugby. Most teams get at least 100. So Wales have been really limited. The Irish, I feel like, could have had more points in that first half. Their lineout has had a couple go awry, which has been a first in this campaign. But, I mean, their scrum's on top. Wales conceded 9 penalties to 4. So it's looking like second half should blow out. But it doesn't really. Second half, I mean, Wales get themselves an attacking maul, which is pleasing because they made good use of that earlier in the championship. Wouldn't you know it, we get our first TMO call of the game. Ref says he doesn't have an on-field decision, so he leaves it in the hands of the TMO. There is no grounding, but they find Tadhg Beirne has changed his bind illegally, so stopped a potential try. So it's a penalty try and a yellow card. So that 17-0 lead, which was looking decent but not fantastic, is now, it's a 2-score lead, but man, one more score and the game gets interesting. You know what I mean? Like, Wales still don't look like winning it just yet. Ireland never looked like losing it, but if one more score, it at least plants a seed of doubt, but Wales never get it, sadly, for the game, I guess. But, I mean, they got a yellow card period. What can Wales do during the yellow card period? Not a heck of a lot. Ireland manage it pretty well. There's a bit of a kicking duel, which Aaron Wainwright gets involved in for some reason, but not bad. Not bad, but there's no points conceded during the yellow card for Ireland. As I said, they manage it well, and then as soon as Tadhg Beirne comes back on, he wins a turnover at maul time, so good impact when he comes back. 56 minutes, Wales went 19 phases, and as I said, if they score here, very tasty, but nah, man. Ireland's defence was pretty brutal, and that's really, I think, the first time in the second half the Aviva really got behind the crowd, behind the team. The crowd got behind the team because they'd been a little bit quiet in that second half, a little bit shell shocked maybe with the penalty try and the yellow card. So yeah, it looked like they had a third through Bundee, but that one gets chalked off for a Henshaw knock on in the build up. Nash had gone close, but Dyer had put in a good tackle to stop him, but I think that would have been chalked off for the knock on anyway if they'd picked it up. But then 66 minutes, you can feel Ireland are starting to get back into their rhythm, which has maybe been lacking a little bit in the second half. They upped the pace, they got better handling, line out more chance. Archie goes close, they get advantage because the Welsh guys are offside. And eventually, Ciaran Frawley, he only had a couple of carries in the first half, but he really got a bit more chance in the second. Goes over, Gibson-Park picks him out with an absolute bullet pass. It's a thing of beauty. So 24-7. At this point, you know the game is well and truly done and dusted. And as I said, Ireland have started to pick it up a gear. Although Wales were not done, man. They kept playing. I've got to give this young side credit. Like maybe two of their best players, Winnett and Dyer, linked up for a nice attacking move. But yeah, they still couldn't. They still couldn't quite break down the Irish defence. It looked pretty comfortable most of the time. I mean, Ireland did concede a penalty for playing the 9 and then not getting back 10. So James Ryan did get yellow carded, which will be a little bit of a frustrating one from an Irish perspective. But 15-14, Wales go for the tap and go. And again, like they just can't score. The Irish defence is relentless. I've got to stop using that word. I've got to find new words. But, I mean, Wainwright was the most likely looking guy to score, and even he got held up. So, credit to the Irish defence, man. Extra man for the Welsh. They still couldn't get over. And then, I didn't think Ireland were going to get the bonus point, but they still wanted it. And at the end of the game, if you just flicked on the TV and couldn't see the little yellow card indicator, I don't think you'd know Ireland had a man down. You'd think they had the extra man because they really, really wanted that bonus point. And, yeah, man, they got it. Tadhg Beirne's the man who finishes it off. Doris with a big carry in the build-up. I mean, Crowley, good support run. And then Conor to get the quick ball going. 31-7. So, yeah, a bit of a weird game in that I feel like Ireland will be happy with the way they defended. The only try they conceded was a penalty try. They'll be maybe not too happy with the discipline, giving away as many penalties as they did. But Piatti, they haven't done his stats, but penalty count was high generally in this game. A couple of yellow cards they won't be happy with, but points conceded during the 2 yellow cards, 0. Wales, as I said, totally written off before this game. We're 1 score away from making it a little bit tastier, but there you go. Run meters finished 489 to 288, so certainly a lot more from Wales in that second half. Possession finishes 56-44 and territory 54-46. So pretty even in the second half. Second half was pretty much 50-50. But I mean, defenders beaten 30-15 to Ireland. Clean breaks 11-1 to Ireland. But yeah, they did end up conceding more penalties than the Welsh, 13-12. But tackling percentage, 93% is phenomenal. Not many teams get into the 90s, but Ireland did it pretty comfortably. And Wales is 85. It's actually not too bad, but it's not at that absolute kind of world-class level that we see. Cam Winnett, I thought he looked pretty good, man. 107 metres, 4 defenders beaten, gets their only clean break of the game. Tommy Reffel, 21 out of 23 tackles. Not bad in a losing effort. Both those guys continue to have a good campaign. Ciaran Frawley, I mentioned he got a bit more ball in the second half, beat 6 defenders all up. Our key man of the match, 2 clean breaks, 3 defenders beaten, denied a try. Penalty at the breakdown. Caelan Doris, top tackler, 20 out of 21. So, yeah, there you go. Well done, Ireland. Their next game is away to England, which is going to be a very, very interesting one at Twickenham. And the Welsh, still in search of their first win, will be hosting France. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game. Do you think this Irish side can take it up a gear? I feel like yes. And if you're a Welsh fan, are you optimistic from what you've seen of these young fellas? For me, still, yes. But there you go. You guys take care. Talk to you again soon. See you later.